Okay, hi everyone. I think everyone has joined the session. So welcome to another one of our virtual O-Week sessions. This one today is going to be all about how you might be able to actually access academic credit for one of our short-term volunteer programs, which is a really exciting opportunity and can be really beneficial for your degree, but also helping out with things like funding as well. So we're going to be covering all of that in today's session. Let me just admit someone else. Perfect. And moving on. Cool. So this is just a little summary of what we're going to be going over today. I'll give a quick introduction of or overview of Challenges Abroad and who we are for anyone new. And then chat a little bit about how going overseas throughout your degree can be really beneficial. And then jump into the really meaty part of looking at the different study areas at the main universities and where we recommend that you look to find academic credit. Then covering what the general process is, talking a little bit about our internships, and then finishing up with some top tips that we have, and then some information about how you can access funding to help support you financially as well. So to quickly cover Challenges Abroad and who we are a social enterprise that was established as a means of supporting our own charity, who are called the Future Sense Foundation. And the Future Sense Foundation work in our partner communities in 6 countries around the world and establish grassroots programs around 3 to 4 key areas, which are education, health, livelihoods, and the environment, with the ultimate aim of taking action on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And one of the main ways that we support the foundation is by having our volunteers who work with them on specific projects that will benefit the community and their long-term goals. And as a social enterprise, it also means that we support the foundation financially, both by donating any profits each year to them to help fund their long-term ongoing community projects. But on top of generating that impact, a big part of who Challenges Abroad are actually by focusing on supporting the development of young Australians and young students by providing opportunities that really encourage and help you to step outside of your comfort zone, develop some new skills, and provide the chance to re-examine some of your perspectives on different things as well. So as much as our programs are set up to help ensure impact, they're also mutually beneficial to ensure that as much as you create impact, you are also impacted yourself. But throughout COVID, we have faced some additional challenges as an organisation in supporting the foundation and also in being able to engage with students around Australia. Our key focuses throughout this time and throughout the last few months have been on how we can continue to meet immediate needs in the community and how we can continue to support the communities that we work with without having our volunteers on the ground. And a few ways that we've been able to do this is by having our in-country teams actually volunteering themselves in the community. They've been helping out at things like COVID checkpoints and screenings, providing medical supplies, and putting together these really amazing homework and education boxes that you might have seen on our social media that they've been providing to our partner schools to help support students who are distance learning. And we at Challenges Abroad have also been exploring how we can keep engaging young people and building their skills. So we've been able to do that through an isolation webinar series that we were running a couple of months ago, and also with a really exciting upcoming project, which I will mention a bit further at the end of today's session. So that's us. Now let's cover some of the ways that going overseas can really benefit you. So the first thing, and a really big one, is the development of new skills. So we know that employers after uni are really looking for some of those soft skills. So that's looking at things like your communication, your ability to work in a team, looking at problem solving and critical thinking. And they are all skills that you will definitely develop on our programs, in addition to ones that might be a bit more specific to your degree, whether that's in business, the arts, or health. The second way that it can be really beneficial is, of course, you get to meet a whole bunch of new people. They include the other students and your peers who are volunteering on the program with you, who can sometimes come from all over Australia. And not only does working with that group or team on the project make it really fun, it's also a really amazing network that you can utilize and connect with once you return home, and maybe over the next couple of years as well, as you start to get into your career or find work. The third thing is you really get to immerse yourself in an entirely different culture and an entirely different cultural experience. So we really see on our programs that you have the opportunity to kind of go beyond the traditional tourist experience. You do really get to immerse yourself in the culture and chat to a whole bunch of different people and communities, and try all this different food, and explore a whole bunch of different locations that really develop your understanding of that culture and how different people lead their lives. And of course, all of these things come together to really build your resume. So all of those new skills that you've developed and the things that you've learned are an amazing experience to pop onto your resume. And again, volunteering experiences and internships is something that employers really regard highly when looking at job applicants. So that's something that can be really, really powerful and really beneficial. And as I mentioned before, our programs really provide the opportunity to re-examine some of your perspectives that you may have on things. And they are really there to push you outside of your comfort zone. So by stepping outside of your comfort zone and engaging in a really challenging experience, you do learn so much about yourself and what you're capable of. And then lastly, a really great thing is that you get to have a really fun but also a really meaningful travel experience for a few weeks as well. Alrighty, so we'll jump straight into this part, which are the main faculty areas that you see across all the universities in Australia, and where we recommend that you look to find credit. I will say that this information has been provided as a general guide. For many universities, we do have specific information of where you can go directly to find out how you can access credit. But hopefully the information we provide today will be really beneficial across the board to everyone who's joining today's session. So one of the really large degrees is commerce or business, and this can be a really great course to study to help get you overseas during your degree, whether that's on an exchange or on a program like ours, which is a short-term overseas program. So the units in a commerce degree are often quite flexible and include the opportunity for you to take on a free elective where you can pick which subject you want to enroll in or guide your own experience, which might be an overseas opportunity. So we recommend looking for a free elective in your course structure. You might have a unit that's already set there that includes an overseas experience that you're allowed to source yourself. You can also look for something like a business internship that allows you to go overseas. Or lastly, getting in touch with the work integrated learning team. So work integrated learning is essentially like an additional department at all the universities, I believe, that is there to help students get ready for work after uni. So it's there to develop some of those skills that I mentioned before, and also ones that are specific to your degree. So they often have so many opportunities and can guide you in a really great direction to help engage you in different experiences, and often that includes going overseas. So they're a great team to get in touch with. Next, we have health sciences and allied health. And we definitely believe that going overseas for someone who's studying a health-based degree is really, really important for your future career. In that career, it's likely that you'll face some pretty major challenges, and need to develop some important cross-cultural communication skills as well. And this is something that you'll definitely learn to develop on our programs, as well as being able to overcome some key challenges. So the best place that we would recommend to look for credit in a health-based degree would be, again, to find a free elective in your course structure to see if any of your units already include an overseas experience. We know of a few universities around Australia where this is a possibility. And again, you can also look into your work integrated learning team or a longer style health-based internship. Then we have the arts. I'm a big advocate for an arts degree. I think they're fantastic, and a great degree to study at university to kind of open yourself up to a whole array of different experiences. And on top of that, it's a great degree to study to help you receive academic credit for going overseas again. So it's very likely in an arts degree that you'll have a free elective in your course structure that you can use to go overseas with. And also, in addition to that, there's some great opportunities for, again, work integrated learning or a longer style arts-based internship, depending on the area of arts that you're majoring in. Then we have education or teaching, and this can be a little bit of a harder one due to just the placements that education students have, which can be quite long and take up a really big portion of your degree. But we have had a few education students come on a program with us in the past and get academic credit for it. So we know it's definitely possible. And we also do partner with a number of universities, around Australia to run specific customized programs for their education students. So you can definitely get in touch with us to find out if one of those is yours, and you can plan for that within your degree. But if not, again, if you have a free elective unit available, and these often are in bachelor education or teaching degrees, then this is a great place to try to get credit to go overseas. And the skills that education and teaching students have are really, really valuable on our programs as well. And then we have engineering, which is, of course, a really big study area at most universities. And the majority of engineering degrees do include something that's called professional placement hours, which are there to help develop your engineering related skills, but also additional skills like the ones I mentioned at the start of the session. And at many universities, only 50% of your professional placement hours actually have to be completed with a registered engineer. So the rest of those hours are there to help develop other skills that are really, really important. And we know that a bunch of universities around Australia have approved engineering students to go overseas on a short-term program. And the hours that you've spent on that they've spent on that program have gone towards their professional placement hours. So that's a really great pathway to help you get overseas. But we know there are also work integrated learning programs for engineering students, and there might be the possibility of exploring a free elective as well if you don't want to go towards those professional placement hours. Science. Okay, so science is a really broad one and obviously can include a whole bunch of different areas, but similar to arts and commerce, they do often have many opportunities for you to receive academic credit, again, through free electives, through internship units and work integrated learning. And there's often the opportunity for science students to kind of source or create their own project where they might go overseas to research something or collect some data, which they can then use in a unit of work back in Australia. So we know that can be a great opportunity for science students. And your course coordinator can often be really helpful at helping to guide you in the best direction for accessing credit within a science degree. Like I mentioned at the start, we do have information that is specific to universities, and this is up on our website. We don't have every university on Australia there, but we do have a lot of them and a lot of the big ones as well. And a number of universities actually have one or two general or elective units that they have created specifically to help students go overseas on a short-term program and be able to access academic credit and associated funding for that. So at those universities, the pathway is really clear, and it can be really easy for you to just get that approval, enroll in the unit, and then before you know it, you'll be going overseas. So the link is here on this slide. So we definitely recommend heading to our website to read that information and find out that info that is specific to your uni. But if your university isn't on that page, definitely get in contact with us. We often know people or can help guide you in the best direction who to get in touch with to find out if you can get academic credit. But this is what the process is generally if you're interested in kicking it off or kind of exploring some of your options. So a great place to start is to look at your study plan. So this is where all of the units that you're meant to do in your degree is outlined for you. And in that study plan, you can often see where you might have a free elective, where you can pick your own subject or enroll in something that you're really interested in. And this is a great place to start where you can see whether you could participate in an overseas program within that study plan. Once you've kind of explored that or found an elective, we definitely recommend to get in touch with your course coordinator. If you're still a little bit unsure about things, they're a great place to go to help provide you with advice or guide you in the best direction. But your course coordinator is often the one who will give you that tick of approval within your study plan that will let you go overseas. So they can be a great place to go to kind of ask about some of your options, or to say, look, I found this unit, this is what I'm really interested in doing. What information do I need to get to you to be approved for this? And then following that, you'll generally need to submit an official application with your mobility office or study abroad office. They'll often have like an application form link on their website, so you fill that out. They'll tell you how to apply for credit officially and how to get approved for that. And they'll also provide information on any travel grants that they might offer, and also the OS help loan, which I will chat a couple of slides down. And then after you've kind of got all that approval, you're generally ready to go overseas. So that includes making sure you have things like your travel insurance ready, your flights and your visa. Your university might require you to submit this information with them for approval. And then they will likely hold what's called a pre-departure session, which is there to help you get ready to go overseas. And we also can assist with all of those things related to travel insurance, your visa, looking at different flight options and things like that as well. And you'll also participate in our pre-departure session. So after that, you'll definitely be ready to jump on that plane and to go have an amazing experience. Before we jump over to funding, I will just chat quickly about internships. Internships are something that we offer at Challenges Abroad. And for some students, they can be an easier pathway to help you get credit. And this is because they are generally longer. So they're normally upwards of 4 to 6 weeks. They involve more hours, and they often more directly link to your study areas. So this is something that course coordinators or your university may look more highly upon if they're approving you for credit. And for many students, you could often have the time to complete maybe a 4 to 6 week length internship in your semester break, receive academic credit for it, and then when you go into your next semester, that can reduce your study load, so it can help make your degree a little bit easier by spreading things out. Our internships at Challenges Abroad can often be customized to your study area or field of interest, so we work with you to find out what you want to get out of an internship, what skills you think you could bring, and then we pair you up with one of our in-country teams to chat about some of the projects that you could work on, and look at how we can improve you for an internship. And many courses, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, have an internship unit. So these are normally just called something like business internship or arts internship. So they can provide a really clear pathway, and often all you have to do is ask, okay, I'm interested in this internship, can I do it overseas and get approved? And an internship experience does look really fantastic on your CV, and helps you develop some really important skills, and also helps you build a little bit of resilience, because you normally do spend a longer period of time in a country that's completely different to your own, and really settle into life in that country, whether that's for 4 or 6 weeks, or for some people that's even up to 10 to 12 weeks. So you really get to have the opportunity of living somewhere else, which is a really amazing experience. Okay, so some top tips that we have. We definitely recommend exploring a variety of options to find out what might be the best option for you to take to go overseas, but to also kind of collate a whole bunch of different information which you can then use to decide what's the best pathway for you. So there's a lot of different areas to look at, which I mentioned before, and these include your work integrated learning team, internships, elective units, and also your study abroad office are all great directions to head in. If you can find a free elective, then this is really helpful. And we also recommend to try and get your course coordinator on your side. They're the ones that are likely to sign off. Oops, sorry, I just let someone else into this session. They're the ones that are likely to sign off on your study plan. So if you can go to them, tell them what you're interested in doing, or pitch an overseas experience to them, and tell them all the things that you're hoping to learn or the skills that you're hoping to develop from that experience, then in many cases they're more than happy to sign you off on that experience, because they can see that's going to be really valuable for you. We also recommend to ask about things like loans, scholarships, travel grants, and travel insurance that might be available to you. A lot of universities offer one or all of these things to help you get overseas and to help support you financially. And we also recommend to get in touch with us. So it can be a bit of a minefield exploring the university credit going overseas. Looking at all of those different opportunities and all of these different website pages, it can be very confusing. So we have done the research for you. So if you want to make it really easy on yourself, get in touch with us and we can help provide a few great people for you to get in touch with, or we might even be able to say, look, this is a unit that's available to you, go chat to your study abroad office and you might be able to enroll in that, and it can be as simple as that. And lastly, to remember that universities want students to have overseas experiences. Many, if not all of them, have goals of how many students they want to have going overseas each year, because they know how valuable it is in your degree, but also once you graduate as well. So if you can find something that you know or you think will be really valuable for your studies and your future, then definitely advocate for that, because they're often on your side and they want to help you out as much as possible. Okay, and then we have funding, which is one of the main reasons that many people try to get credit for going overseas, because it opens a whole bunch of funding opportunities up to you, which of course can be so helpful. So the main one is what's called the OS Help Loan. And this is a loan that's available to all students in a Commonwealth supported degree who are able to receive academic credit for an experience overseas. So basically, if you can get that approval, then you're able to access the OS Help Loan, which is added to your HECS debt. So you start paying it off once you're working after uni. And based off the numbers this year, you can access between $6,913 to $8,295. And the process for getting this loan is done internally through your university. So they will provide the form that you need to fill out to get the loan, and it's paid by them as well. So it's all done in-house, which is really helpful and provides a huge amount of money that you can access actually twice in your degree. So if you want to do a short-term overseas experience and maybe an exchange, you can access that money twice, so it doesn't stop you from planning when you want to use it. And it's a huge amount, so essentially that can pay for more than your overseas short-term experience. You can also look into scholarships. So if you find the scholarship section or website of your university, many of them offer these one-off payments or scholarships for an overseas experience that you just apply for. And then we have travel grants. So again, many universities offer a short-term travel grant for students who are going overseas. And these generally are between about $500 and $1,000 and have little eligibility criteria. So we know at many universities, if you get approved for an overseas experience, that basically approves you for the travel grant as well. So yeah, they're generally very easy to get, and a great amount of money to help support you in getting overseas. And lastly, there's travel insurance as well. So if you're approved by your university to travel overseas, it's generally pretty likely that they'll provide you with free travel insurance as well, which can help you save, up to a couple $100, which is always a great saving. And they provide things like a 24/7 international support as well. So that's also really nice peace of mind. Okay, I feel like I've powered through that. So if we have any questions, feel free to open your chat box. Let me just get mine open. I do have a couple more slides left, but I'll keep that chat box open, and feel free to pop any questions in there as I move on. Lastly, I just want to let everyone know about our COVID flexibility and new policies that we've introduced throughout the last couple of months, to make sure that people like you can book for a program in 2021 now, but feel confident and secure in doing that. So we've introduced a few new flexibility options. The first one is no change of date fees. So if you booked a program, say for June, July 2021 next year, and then decided or realized that you weren't able to travel on those dates for a particular reason, you can change to alternative dates later next year or even in 2022 without any fees charged. We also have full program flexibility, which means, say for example, you have registered for a Thailand community challenge in June next year, but decide you then want to change to a Cambodia health promotion challenge, for example, you can do that again with no fees, and we can transfer you over to a different program really easily. And then lastly, we have our flexible payment plans. So once you pay your deposit to lock in your place on the program, our payment plans are really flexible and there to cater to what best suits you. So you can use that payment plan to pay off the cost of your program in, say, fortnightly, monthly, or quarterly installments. So it's up to you whether you prefer to break it up into really small amounts that you're paying every week or every fortnight, or bigger chunks that you pay every couple of months. And of course, all of the countries where we work have now enhanced health and safety measures as well. So this is something that was, of course, really important for us and one of our biggest priorities pre-COVID. But we've just stepped it up with everything that's happened in the last few months. So this will include things like more frequent and deeper cleaning at our accommodation, fewer people sharing rooms and bathrooms, and really strict mandatory hand washing before meals and things like that, which was also always something that was encouraged pre-COVID, but it's definitely something that will be strictly enforced from this point onward. And as I mentioned at the start, we have a new project or program coming soon, and these are our virtual internships. So if you're really keen to get involved with us and make an impact now, and you don't want to wait until 2021, keep an eye out for our virtual internships, which will be launching on our website and social media soon. Hi Denali, I saw your message. Thanks so much for joining us. Fantastic. And if you want to know more, we have the opportunity for you to book in a call to chat with us directly. Molly, if you're able to just pop that link in the chat for me, that would be great. You can also send us an email directly, hello@challengesabroad.com.au for all our Australian people here. You can check out our website for information about our programs, and if you just want to have a browse and a little bit of an explore. And lastly, our social media channels. So these are a great way to find out some things that we've been working on lately. Here's some little updates. And then our YouTube channel is full of a bunch of videos where you can hear from past participants about their experience on the program. So that's everything. I will, again, wait around a couple minutes to see if anyone has any questions, but other than that, that's the end of this morning session. So thanks so much to everyone for joining in, and hopefully we'll be able to chat to you all